Believe me, it's a really good thing that the nomads can't just come and go around Valsambor as they please anymore. Usually the Yukols only stick around for a few days or so. Something must be keeping them here this time.
That big boat, the Crystal, it's been rotting at the dock for years. I can't understand why that gutless oboe keeps trying to maintain his rotten old tub. That big boat, the Crystal, it's been rotting at the dock for years.
Things are heating up for Mayor Bulyakin. It's been too long since there was any sort of change in the town hall.
My squid is absolutely fresh, miss. Listen, miss, it's fresh. Most other shopkeepers are on strike. I can't do the same.
Are you okay, sir? One more step and you were in the drink.
Oh.
Pardon?
It's me, Captain Obo. Obo! Proud commander of the just as proud Crystal. So don't you, sir, me.
Well, delighted. Captain, I'm Kate Walker. I'm looking for Steiner's, the clockmaker.
If I fall in the water, sailor, it'll be to go straight to hell. So don't fall in the water, sailor, you understand? Bastard's waiting for me.
Who are you talking about?
The monster of the lake is waiting for us all, miss. Everyone's time comes eventually. To finish the work. Come on, back in the fight. Because you can never lower your guard. Never.
Why is access to the boats blocked? Why is access to the boats blocked?
Lost your way, pretty girl? If you need someone to follow you around town, just ask. Lost your way, pretty girl?
Steiner! Hello. Are you Mr. Steiner? I'm sorry to bother you, Mr. Steiner. My name is Kate Walker, and I've come to pick up the prosthesis for Kirk, the Yukel's spiritual guide.
And well, dear Miss Walker, Dr. Efimova has informed me that the young man was not yet in any sort of condition to withstand the operation, and that...
Mr. Steiner, are you all right?
It is impossible. That pendant you have around your neck. I would be very obliged if you would entrust me with it for a moment. Please, Miss Walker. Mein Gott! An XZ-2000 automaton heart in perfect working condition. A compensating spring memory. Pendulum ventricles and small mechanical pumps. Everything seems in excellent condition. Donnerwetter! Where on earth did you steal this, Miss Walker?
I did not steal it. It's a souvenir. It's all I have left of Oscar, a very dear friend.
Ah, so. And yet I am actually very familiar with this type of precision mechanism. An infernal precision. Incredible, unique expertise. For this was a Vorarlberg automaton, Miss Walker.
Yes. It was Hans Vorarlberg who designed this object. Tell me, did you know him?
Oh, yeah. He even lived here a few years. We did a lot of work together. He taught me so many different things, you know. So it is useless to try and make up silly stories, Miss Walker. And I am afraid that I am not about to allow you to leave here as long as you have not told me the truth about where this object comes from.
Oh, don't bother locking me in, Mr. Steiner. If you must know, the truth is that Hans Vorarlberg was someone who was very important to me. I accompanied him on a very strange journey throughout Europe. And that object in your hand is the only souvenir I have of that adventure.
That proves nothing, Himmelherrgott! Hans would never have given this to...
Mr. Steiner, are you all right?
My heart... need... my medication! Quickly!
Just don't move. I'll go and get your medication right away. No medication in sight. Empty. A prototype for the clinic aviary?
Make yourself right at home. Don't mind me. I just own the place.
A prototype for the clinic aviary? All that clattering must get really tiring after a while. All that clattering must get really tiring after a while.
My heart. I need my medication. Quickly.
Who would store medication in this mess? Still nothing. Fantastic. Fantastic. Kirk's prosthesis. But it looks like it isn't finished. Kirk's prosthesis. But it looks like it isn't finished. An old press clipping. Who would store medication in this mess? Fantastic! Still nothing. A prototype for the clinic aviary? Empty. Empty. All that clattering must get really tiring after a while. All that clattering must get really tiring after a while. All that clattering must get really tiring after a while. All that clattering must get really tiring after a while. Kirk's prosthesis, but it looks like it isn't finished. A woman's writing saying, "Grandfather, don't forget to take your medication 3 hours before dinner." Who would store medication in this mess? A woman's writing saying, "Grandfather, don't forget to take your medication 3 hours before dinner." A woman's writing saying, "Grandfather, don't forget to take your medication 3 hours before dinner." A prototype for the clinic aviary?
Thank you for your precious help, my dearest Miss Walker. I'm afraid I may have judged you somewhat hastily.
Don't mention it, Mr. Steiner. Tell me about the prosthesis. I need to take it back to Kirk very quickly, if, of course, you agree to let me have it.
Yeah. I just have a few small adjustments to make. It involves very precise and meticulous mechanics, understand?
Will it take long? I'm sorry to insist, but I also have to give a hand to those unfortunate Yukels. I need to help them get across the lake with their herd of ostriches. I'm so worried about them.
Once the mechanical leg is at last ready, I can go to the clinic and bring back young Kirk to you. That way you only have to worry about what happens to the other Yukels.
You'd do that, Mr. Steiner? That would really be a great help.
So perfect. But dear Miss Walker, are you aware of what lies in store for the nomads when they reach the other side of the lake?
What on earth's the matter, Mr. Steiner?
The next stage of your journey is the poor cursed town of Baranor. It has become hell on earth since the time of the last great ostrich migration.
Please join me downstairs for a moment, Miss Walker. I'll show you exactly what I mean.
Look just next to the films there, Miss Walker. You should find a film on Baranor.
Baranor, the cursed city. Baranor, the martyred town. Baranor has been nothing but a field of ruins and desolation since a week after the explosion of reactor number 3 in the nuclear power plant. Baltimore is on the other side of the lake, sheltered from the prevailing winds, and fortunately it seems to have been spared from the deadly radioactive clouds. Our town was mobilized to go to the aid of our neighbors. Although our town's means were modest when compared to such a catastrophe, there were nonetheless among us some brilliant mechanical engineers. In record time, they developed a small army of automatons capable of helping the affected people. Those men and dogs of steel could go where a human could no longer set foot without becoming seriously ill. Over there, they could be excavators, rescue workers, and treasure bearers.
Oscar! They all look like him.
Truly magnificent pieces, Nishtvar. The XZ-2000 model is most assuredly one of Hans's major masterpieces.
Their mission was to bring back any survivors of the catastrophe to Baltimore, where the victims would receive the best care in Dr. Zemiatine's clinic. The Crystal, the ferry usually responsible for linking the towns of Baltimore and Baranor every day, carried the new type of rescuers to the scene of the drama, and brought back the survivors of the catastrophe.
So Baranor suffered the ravages of a nuclear accident. But according to that film, the automatons you designed with Hans should have helped save lots of lives, right?
I'm afraid that's not how things went. Because of Captain Obo, who... Ah, that must be Sarah. Please come this way, Miss Walker. I'll introduce you.
Tools that would have suited Hans.
Miss Walker, may I introduce you to Sarah, my granddaughter?
Nice to meet you, Sarah. My name's Kate Walker.
I actually owe Miss Walker a candle. Thanks to her calmness and peace of mind, I'm still here and on my feet. She found my medication and gave it to me before it was too late. Donnerwetter.
You don't mean you had another attack, do you? Ah, you're being so very naughty, Grandfather. You absolutely must let Dr. Zemiatine examine you.
Come on, stay calm, my little child. When I go to the clinic to take the prosthesis to the young Yukol, I'll stop by and see the good doctor. Until then, why don't you make yourself really useful to Miss Walker? She's looking for some way to transport the Yukol caravan to the other side of the lake.
Well, I think I've already found the solution. The boat in the film, the Crystal, it must be the ship that's docked in the port. If it was able to transport the automatons you and Hans built, it could carry the ostriches across the lake.
Ah, that's not a bad idea. But unfortunately, there's a slight problem of size, dear Miss Walker.
Sounds like you're talking about Captain Obo's alcoholism. I saw him earlier on the dock.
That coward has been hiding himself in alcohol ever since he abandoned our automatons to Baranor. And he'd rather simply die than go back. He tells everybody that the evil monster of the lake is waiting for him, and that as soon as he goes back on the water, the beast will just up and grab him. Ha 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 ha. But of course, that is the purest fantasy.
Grandfather, I know you're still really angry with Captain Obo because he abandoned the automatons that you built with your friend Hans and Baranor. He was supposed to wait for them. They were going to take all the survivors they found in the rubble to the boat and then bring everyone here to safety in Valsambor. But in the end, when he got to the beach at Baranor and saw the disaster and all the dead, he became really afraid. The disease, the radiation. He must have had an uncontrollable panic attack, so he immediately turned back, dumped the machines on the crystal into the lake, and came back empty-handed to Valsambor. And the automatons have been there ever since, in hell. But who knows? Maybe today he'll want to sell. I'm sure Kate will be capable of convincing him to help the Ukels. I have to go do my waitressing shift in the tavern. Come by and see me later on, okay? Captain Obo will be there.
All right, then. I'll try and convince Captain Obo. Thank you for everything, Mr. Steiner.
I don't know if I really should wish you good luck, dear Miss Walker. Baranor is only an open grave now.
Impossible, I don't believe it. He forgot to leave it open again. Kirill! Kirill! When I get my hands on him, this time he's really going to get it. Impossible, I don't believe it. He forgot to leave it open again.
Welcome to our humble Valsambor funicular station, miss. I'm afraid you'll have to wait a bit before you can go up to the clinic. Traffic has been halted this morning, and now there's a rather progressive return to service. This morning's stoppage occurred at the request of the clinic's senior management. We don't have any more information at this time. Welcome to our humble Valsambor funicular station, miss.
When they shut the funicular down this morning, it created chaos. Regrettable delays due to traffic management, they said. Yeah, right. When they shut the funicular down this morning, it created chaos.
Let Steiner take the prosthesis. I have enough to do with the lake crossing. Let Steiner take the prosthesis. I have enough to do with the lake crossing.
I don't like that new waitress working in the tavern at all. What with her grandfather being an old friend of the Nomads and the way she turns the customers' heads, there's no way Sarah Steiner can be anything but trouble, I'm sure. I don't like that new waitress working in the tavern at all.
It's kicking off near the town hall. I hope it won't come down anywhere near here. That's absolutely the last thing we need. It's kicking off near the town hall.
No Yukos in Valsambor! The shopkeepers can't take it anymore! The shopkeepers are on strike!
There've been...
If you were only here to see this, Oscar.
Yukos don't belong in Valsambor. The shopkeepers have had enough.
Thieving Yukos in Valsambor!
You should have seen it back when the port was still open and booming. We never even heard of a strike. The local economy has been completely depressed for several years. What a waste. You should have seen it back when the port was still open and booming. We never even heard of a strike.
Come outside! Show yourself, Mr. Mayor!
Yeah, come outside now or we'll throw you out in the next elections. Mayor Bulyakin! Mayor Bulyakin!
Excuse me, what's happening here?
Isn't it obvious? We're demonstrating against having the Yukon nomads parked on our doorsteps.
But what for?
Since they came to Valsambor, there's been no end to the shoplifting and vandalism, and on top of that, their souk is taking our customers. Mayor Bulyakin has to do something, and fast. We're not leaving until he receives our delegation.
But why won't the mayor talk to you?
Because he's a schmuck. He wants the nomads to continue their migration as much as us, but he's too afraid of annoying his higher-ups. And while he's gaining time by playing both sides of the board, we're watching our sales go through the floor.
The authorities are asking the mayor to prevent the migration from continuing? They want the Yukos to stay blocked in Valsambor?
That's what people are saying, but if you want my opinion, the only thing the mayor is waiting for is someone to get rid of those savages without him having to get his hands dirty. I got nothing against the nomads. I just don't like them hanging around my place, that's all.
The shopkeepers are on strike for the first time in ages. That's not good business for anyone, if you want my opinion. Mayor Bulyakin hasn't been up to handling the situation since the catastrophe. I've said it for years.
Everyone's been surly the last few months. Living here is unbearable sometimes of late. Everyone's been surly the last few months.
Looking for cigars or some hooch? I'm even cheaper than the nomads. Don't go asking where it all comes from, of course.
The way they treat the nomads around here is terrible.
Lost your way, pretty girl?